Now, do know, as I said, I'm going to leave the personal questions, anything that's lengthy over a sentence long, to the end. I do turn off the recording during that Q&A time because I do want to preserve your privacy, and it's only really for the benefit of the people that are here in the room. They get to ask questions, any questions of the Googler, even if it doesn't pertain to what we're doing here. But during the session, I will keep it highly interactive because I want to be sure that you are getting the things to be able to apply what you're doing. Knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. All right, so great, everybody. Glad you're finding a lot of Austin in the house. Austin and Arlington also is here too. All right, I'm going to take these out because I don't have any video here in the session. Let's go ahead and talk about making your website work for you. Now, if you have any questions or need any tools and resources from Google, this is the URL to go to. If you're tweeting or posting, use the hashtag #GrowWithGoogle because it lets the Google team know this matters to you and it encourages them to create more, which is what I love. More training to you on how to optimize the free tools that you have. You'll find that I'm all about free and small fee and maximizing those before you put any money towards that. That's really important. My name is Maria Elena Duron, D-U-R-O-N, and I'm right here at Twitter. That's my handle. I tweet quite a bit, or this is me on Instagram. If you want to use the hashtag and even tag me, I will reshare you in my tweets and my stories, okay? So as we talk about website, we know that people go to websites. So I just want to make sure I can see that question box. I do see you here. Thank you, Heather. Brandy, you made it. Look at us day after day together. Thank you for being a wonderful host here, Brandy, too. Amron is here with Ripples and Bits from Austin. Vanette, wonderful. How many of you already do have a website? Let me know by a show of ones in the question box. Just put a 1 if you have an actual website already created. We know that a strong web presence is truly important because we know that people go there when they want to know, go, do, or buy. In fact, 74% go on a mobile device first, right? And they are looking for information. They aren't walking into showrooms. They aren't window shopping. All they do right away is go here first before they even make any moves. So it's important for us to be there and be involved. A lot of times when you start a retail shop, a lot of people will tell you that the key to that is location, location, location. Well, part of that location right now is having a digital presence, because without it, if people cannot find you when they're searching for you, if you don't show up on the first page of Google search, then you don't exist, and people cannot do business with you if they don't know that you exist. Make sense? So good. I see a lot of people have their own website. That's awesome, because that's your digital presence. Now, in looking at your digital presence, a lot of people think when we're talking about making your website work for you, that it's just the branding, it's just graphics, but there's so much more to it. That is just the tip of the iceberg. And if that's all you're doing, then you truly are leaving a lot of money on the table. And we know as small businesses, cash flow is king. We've got to get those conversions coming in. Now, you're going to hear me use that word quite a bit during our time together, which is conversions. Conversion, because I come from an e-commerce background, to me sounds like sales, money, revenue. But for you, it is any success action that's happening on your site. For example, they downloaded the PDF, they left their email address, they filled out the contact form, they called you, they watched the video till it was completed, they filled out the questionnaire. Those are success events that you want to happen on your site. Those are called conversions. When you get eyeballs to actually take action, raise their hand, and disclose that they are a good potential customer for you. So a lot of times this is all we look at: graphics, we look at colors, and we look at fonts. And it's important to have branding. Consistency is so important. Consistency in a brand builds trust. I see more business owners get bored with their colors, their fonts, and their logo, bored before anybody even knows that they exist. So they change that quite a bit. And when you're changing like that, you look inconsistent. And all of a sudden now it looks no longer like a brand. You look like a hobby, and people don't take you seriously. There is a reason when we're driving down the road and we see the golden arches, we know exactly what that means. There is brand consistency across the world. What also is involved in making a web design that works for you is functionality. This is key. You are building not for the algorithm, but for the person. Understand, it is our job to know our customers so well that we can articulate and anticipate anything that they need right here digitally or within our services, that they are just amazed. They can't even say it and voice their problems or needs as well as we can, and they see us then as the solution provider because we get them. Look at your layout too. This is really important. And the content, while you hear a lot, content is king. Context is queen, and this is very important. We have a whole other session about how you can make your small business more accessible, which is not just about physical environment, it's your digital environment, because there is a host of people that are accessing your site online that you could do business with. And this is very key to be able to make sure that our content is correctly addressing people using the words that they use, that it makes sense to them. Hello. Oh, no worries, Delana. You and I'm so glad to see you again. You and I were the same boat. I mean, I barely was able to get the microphone going right at the top of the hour. So you and I are experiencing the same thing. So now I'm wondering where you're located, like if we're in the same service area, Delana. But thank you for being here. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today is your website has to be goal-oriented. Remember what I said about just hoping you can get more people, or it's because my competitor's there, so therefore I need to be there. Those are not reason enough. All right, what also we need to know is that it's search friendly, right? We all go to search. 98% go to Google first. Google is the #1 search engine in the world. YouTube is #2. Both of those are owned by Google. So it's very important for us as small businesses to understand exactly how search works, because if the search engine can't show us in the first page of search results, then we don't exist. Understand that people don't look past the first page of Google search at all, unless they're hunting you down because you owe them money, okay? They're only gonna look at the first page, because every page of Google's organic search results gives you 10 organic results in there. You have to earn that right. You can't pay for that right to be there. You have to earn that right by having a good outline digital experience that's good for the user, the person who's going to go look at your site, or the searcher. For Googlebot, think about that. When Googlebot comes out, you need to treat them like they are somebody searching, because that's what they're doing. They're searching, behaving and trying to act like how a person would look, taking that information. And if you're not aligned with that, then you will not show up in the first page of Google search. It needs to be convenient too. If it's not easy, I'm going down the road. Do you know that if your site does not load in 4 seconds or less on a mobile device, so you've got 4 seconds, and that's even lengthy. I work with a lot of e-commerce sites, and I tell them you need to be able to load, even with your 100 SKUs of products and all your photos, at least within 1.8 seconds, okay? You need to load that quickly, and for anything that's informational and branding, in 1.2 seconds or less to even compete. Now, do understand that's important for search, because if it takes that long, I can just scroll on down and find somebody else. We have lots of options now. It also needs to be organized. The #1 reason people bounce, they leave your site, if you ever look at your Google Analytics, which measures how people behave on your site, which again, if we are experts on our customers, we need to know how they shop. If we had a real retail shop, and maybe you have retail and an online shop, you want to know how they shop. So it's important for us to keep it organized. And the #1 reason they leave is because a lot of people treat their homepage of their site like a hot mess, and it just everything, that's just a drawer that they throw everything into. It's their junk drawer of, oh, put this in, we just added this and this, and it makes no sense. And it's too much, too time consuming for somebody to have to deal with, and they'll go on to the next site. And it also needs to be trustworthy. That's why I was talking about brand consistency. That consistency builds trust. All right. So first, we have to be goal-oriented. I know this is the not sexy stuff. Understand, a lot of marketing is not just silver bullets. It is a lot of consistent, persistent work, which is not sexy, but it's revenue generating. So what do you want your website to do? I'd love to know in the question box, what is your website supposed to do for you? At the end of the day, when you look at your website and the time that you invested in it, the money, what does success look like, sound like, feel for you? Is it building your brand? Does it elevate you, really position you as an expert? Talk about that expertise in everything that you deliver to somebody, so the benefits that they actually see. Is it to generate leads? So it's supposed to capture their email information or their phone number, or maybe they fill out a contact form. What is the purpose of your actual website? What is its goal? All right, let me know in the question box. Is it to make sales? So your e-commerce generated, that's important. Maybe it's to help customers again. A lot of times our customers are actually our best customers, because already they've done business with you, you've developed know, like, and trust, and now you can increase your average order value because you're re-engaging them. They're already sold on you. Now you can just add more added value and upgrades and really help them, so they are really good to stay in good contact with, and maybe that's what your website's built for. Is it employer branding? So it's to attract employees. You're really going to focus on and showcase the culture of your environment and the benefits, or is it to provide helpful support? You know, how do you do this? What if you have a leak under your sink? Why is it important to have heating and air conditioning maintenance? All right. And don't think of it just when the cold front comes in. All right. So let me see here. I see some people say, show people what I can create. Absolutely. Perfect. Let me see. Yes, you did find the question box. Good, 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 everybody. I'm seeing it here. Debbie, you did. Show people what I can create for them, increase client leads, generate interest in leads. A successful website gets new clients for your practice. Awesome. Promote our service, build brand, generate leads, building brand. Love it. Make sales, engage customers, generate leads, make sales, support and attract. Understand though, the more you spread out the purpose of your site, the more diluted it can become and more generic. Understand when people are looking, they love to and will pay for a specialist. They will not pay for a generalist. In fact, you become a commodity at that point, which means now you compete just on price. And that's kind of scary considering that we are small businesses and our number one superpower is we are agile, nimble, and we are personal, because we already understand our customers. We don't have to do a big corporate survey or bring a data team to do that in. We know who they are and we understand. We know them by name. So as you understand your customer, it's important to define that narrowly. It is the biggest challenge that I have in working with small businesses because they want to serve anybody, everybody, and somebody. The problem with that is if that's the messaging that you're putting out all over your site, then you get their second cousin, nobody. It is too broad and you are wasting your time, energy, and money trying to do that. I would much rather have 100 of a most fantastic customer and realize that I can serve thousands of others. And if I get them, they're gravy, but I will not miss the 100 best customers because I don't want them to know that they can do business with anybody else except me. Everybody else is gravy. So if you think about that, try to see the world as they do see it. How many of you, by a show of ones, have ever read your customers' reviews and your competitors' reviews? And the reason I say that is because in their own words, they're telling you what matters. This is going to help you with the content of your site because in their own words, this is what's important. A lot of times when we're experts at what we do, we are so immersed in industry speak that it is nothing that somebody would actually search with or terms that they would use to describe anything. And understand, we search with more than just words. We speak in whole phrases and say, hey Google, hey Alexa, we voice search. So what is it that people are looking for? Really walk in their shoes. And reading their reviews, the competitors' reviews, also gives you a chance to see where your competitors fail. And that might be a sweet spot for you. So it's good competitive research right there. And then understand their emotions, their motivations, and desires. I encourage businesses to not just look at when they're in the looking zone and they're shopping by price, but take that one step back and think of your best customer when they need you the most. What does it look like one step before they're in the need space? What are they experiencing? Is their child getting an automobile? So you know later on within a couple of years, they'll be leaving the nest or going to college. Maybe they'll need apartment rentals if you're in the real estate business. Again, look at what that customer knows, and it really is our job to understand and be the expert in our customer and make it easy for them to buy from us. So part of that goal setting is smart testing every goal. Do not miss one of these points of smart testing, because if you do, it'll actually throw your trajectory off, which then will be detrimental to your revenue stream. So it does need to be specific. Exactly what is it that you want your website to do? Measurable. Oh, I want more people to see my website and my brand. Well, what does more people look like? One person is more people. Is that good after a year in operating, or what does more look like? So make it measurable, attainable. I want to make $1 million. I made 100,000 last year, but this year I'll make $1 million. Well, only you know if that's attainable. But my next question always as a coach is, well, what are you going to do differently now that you did over last year when you made 100,000 to make up the other 900,000? What's so different now? Because if you do the same thing the same way and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity, right? So you want to make sure it's attainable. You know that. Is it relevant? I want 100 Facebook likes. Well, that's great. I'm a great fan of socials. I'm on all the socials. You'll find me there. But understand, I understand strategy too with social. So what does 100 likes mean to you? It may feel good. It may be those vanity metrics that just gives you that extra serotonin boost, or do you have a plan? Well, I know when I get 100 likes on Facebook towards a post, I put the website link there that over 50, so 50% of them go over there. Of the 50% that go there, 40% buy or leave their email address. Now, that's relevant. That is strategic. You know that you need to capture their email addresses because socials aren't always the best place. It's good for visual, but not always good for conversions. And you want to own all your context just in case any of the socials go down or unpublish you for whatever reason. And then time bound. Do you want it in this next week or do you want it the next month? Is it a 5-year, 10-year? Is it the end of life goal? What is it that you want? Make sure you test all of your goals and smart test them, all 5 points, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely for all your goals, every 5 point. And if you're missing one, go find out what that is. So how you'll measure success on your site is it online sales? Is it contact form submissions? Does that help you be very specific or measurable? Is it to monitor phone calls? Some people work in service industries, and so they need people to call them. They're not going to fill out a form, and they're looking, engaging who's actually going and finding them on their site, pressing the call button and making that call. It could also be if they're asking questions there. One of the tools that will help you get there, you heard me talk about it, and we do a whole session on getting together and making decisions with Google Analytics. But Google Analytics is 100% free. Understand that everything I'm sharing today is free, 100% free. So as I look at Google Analytics, what you're going to do is you're going to look and see and connect that so that Google can now measure how people shop your site and let you know. For example, if I had a physical site and all morning long people went from aisle 1 to aisle 3 and then they just left. They didn't buy anything. 1, 3, they just left. I'd wonder what's going on. But then in the afternoon, people went from aisle 1 to aisle 4 to aisle 3 and they all bought. Then I'd wonder, is it the afternoon customer? Is that my best customer? Is there something magical on aisle 4 or page 4 of my site that is encouraging them to do that? You can also see if they jump off to look at social proof and go to any of your socials. Do they go to your competitor sites? You can see that. Is there a page that's not performing well? You can understand what content they're actually consuming and looking at and spending time, see some demographics and really get a good feel, because a lot of times as business owners, we go with our gut feeling. It served us so well at this time, but to get to the next level, what served us now may not serve us then. So it's important for us to double check that with true data and then take those insights and decide, excuse me, how you're going to evaluate what channels, because we may feel that socials is bringing it on, but when we look at Google Analytics, we realize social doesn't bring anybody on. It's just a place where a lot of people may congregate, but we don't have some great calls to action that are driving them to our site. So you can find out more here, but get with a Google partner that invited you if you want me to come back and do an entire Google Analytics session. What you can do yourself is once you're logged into your free Google account or free Gmail account, so all of this is free, you're going to be logged in there and go to g.co/analytics, and now you can go ahead and be able to connect the two, and it'll start finding out that information for you, which is what I love. I love to have that insight to be able to get to know my best customer and serve them what they need when they need it. Now for you, if you have already this all connected, I would love to know how you're using it. So just let me know in the question box. Now, do you know there is another version that launched too? You may have been getting alerts if you do have Google Analytics already connected to your site. So there is something called Google Analytics 4. We call it GA4 for short. Understand that Universal Analytics, which is classic analytics, which has been around forever, is going to be retired. So you won't be able to use it anymore in 2023. Sometime mid-2023 is what they're expecting. GA4, what I love about GA4 is it actually tracks the whole person. So Universal Analytics is a little bit limited on what it can track, but Google Analytics 4 can actually tell if I went on my phone, looked at something, then let's say I got to my office and I threw it over to my iPad or to my laptop or desktop, and then I got home and I threw it over to my smart TV. Okay, so it can do all of those things, tracking one person through all the devices that they use. But do know that it's not a true merge from Google Analytics to Google Analytics Classic or Universal to GA4. It's not a migration. It will pick up from wherever you connected GA4. So it's not going to pick up the history. It will pick up from wherever you connected it. So that's why I'm encouraging you to connect it so it can start picking up the history and learn your customers very, very well. Perfect. So use Google Analytics And how long they stay on the site. Yes. Also where your visitors came from. Kara, you are speaking my language. I love that. It's important for us to be experts in our customer. It's really what we need to do so very well that no one else can do. So this is how you do that. If you have it already set up, you'll see that you have the chance to go through GA4 Setup Assistant and just use that, okay? And it'll walk you through. It's pretty intuitive. Now, what you can see in Universal Analytics right now, so this is classic, is you can see real time what's happening. So let's say I launched an Instagram reel or a TikTok, and I want to know if people are taking action on the call to action and coming to my site. So I can see what's happening in real time right now. I did this with a business I was working with that was featured on the Today Show as one of the fall back to school tools that you had to have. And we watched it as the Today Show aired across the US and all the different time zones. You could see people jump on and see if it's effective. You can do this with your email marketing too, or your text message marketing, to see what's driving and bringing them in at real time. You can also see what's working on your site, what's getting those success actions, those conversions, where they're coming from, acquisition. Are they coming from Facebook, and was it the Facebook live video? Did they watch 10 seconds in? You're getting all this rich insights that'll help you make good business decisions. And then what do they do on your site? You can see things like, oh my gosh, they're not interested in this page. Why do I have it there? It might be what I'm interested in, but I'm not my best customer. So in Google Analytics 4, you can also see the real-time reports. You can also see the life cycle, because it is looking at the whole customer and really trying to work on how we can have a customer either provide multiple sales to us or do continual business with us, because people will leave businesses before they leave relationships. So we like to have that relationship with them. Or are they referring us to their friends and family, which is also great, because then it shortens the time that they can actually, the friend or family can become a new customer. And then who is that new customer? Really, can we get to know them instead of just trying to go with gut feel? Google Optimize can help you on your site too. It's g.co/optimize, 100% free. This is what tool we use a lot of times for A/B testing. I was working with a team yesterday. They were doing a website design and a lot of green on their site. So they had a green call to action button, a buy now, learn more, search here, all of that, and they weren't doing well. So they had a theory that either a nice true blue button contrasted with the green, because the green's kind of flowing in there and just not being seen anymore because there's so much green. Or could it be a red button really to jump out? So they are testing, A/B testing. Is it the red button? Is it the blue button? Now, of course, at the business, they have some people on the team who are like red, red, red. And then the other people on the team are like blue, blue, blue. But they're not their best customers. Let your best customer tell you. When you use a A/B test like Google Optimize, which is free, you put this on your site, it presents to different customers, and then at the end of the test, maybe in a week or 2 weeks, depending on how much traffic, so how many people come to your site, that's the traffic to your site, you can see whether or not one is better than the other. And I always tell people I take no ownership of either or. I let the customer choose, since they are the customer. You can find out more at this URL down here at the bottom. If you want a copy of today's slides, by the way, in addition to the recording, just put a number five in the question box. Yes, it works with Shopify. Randy, I operate probably, well, it's 18 different Shopify stores. Love, love, love using Google Optimize. So I use that. I've used Microsoft Clarity too. It does some of that, but Google Optimize, that really is just nice and easy, and it's user-friendly too, because I'm not a tech person. All right, a great website. Remember what I said about being search friendly, that in order for Google to show you in the first page of search results, it needs to be able to see you. So we know that people are looking a lot for people near them. We go here first when we want to know who locally has that brand. We go here first and see if they have inventory of that before we ever go step into a store and looking for that. This is where we start our shopping experience. So the journey starts there. And as customers are going through their decision journey, are you there? So you've seen this before. The graphic in front of you, this is what Google search looks like if you're on a desktop or laptop. You have the search query bar right up here at the very top. So you see that there. You can also do and put search terms into the URL, the address bar. So you could do that as well. You'll see the first result is text ads unless there's shopping ads. So shopping ads are the photos that you see up there. Those shopping ads, the text ads and shopping ads, those are paid positions. But then there are 10 organic search results. You need to show up there because people don't look past the first page. And you have to earn the right to be there by being able to be prominence, so having a good quality score to Google, which means how often do you get reviews, how quickly do you respond to your reviews, when was the last time you updated your videos on your site, when was the last time you updated your site, do people watch the videos on your site, is your site secure, HTTPS. If you've ever seen that S, that means you have a secure site. You have to get a certificate from your web hosting domain company for secure site. This is really important because there's nothing in the world that you can do, content or context wise, if you don't have a secure site to show up on the first page of search. You will be penalized because you don't have a secure site. So you're not going to show up there no matter what you do. Another item that you have to have that will also keep you from showing up at the first page of search is making sure your site is mobile responsive, which means that when I read your website, I don't have to pinch and zoom to see more or swipe side to side to finish that sentence. If I have to do that, it's not mobile responsive and you will be penalized. Again, you cannot show up in the first page of search no matter what you do if you don't have those two foundational items. And yes, Brandy, it does work with Shopify. Here's the thing with Shopify, because I'm a big Shopify fan. Pay attention because Shopify is what's known as a content management system, a CMS. So it's one where you can pretty much type in and bring a website to life right away. But be careful because they have some beautiful themes in there. That's what I love about Shopify. In fact, there's so many beautifully made themes. I don't have to worry about designing. The problem is some of those themes, Brandy, take 3.8 seconds to load on a mobile device. 3.8. And that is before you put in any photos or videos or content. So just imagine when you add those things, how much that can slow down your site when we know that people need it to load in 4 seconds or less on a mobile device, or you'll lose over half of your traffic. And for every second over that, you'll lose another 10%. So we want to keep it down about 1.2, 1.8. So do not get excited about seeing a theme that nobody's going to take a look at if it takes too long to load. Now, what I love here when you're looking at search, look at your Google business profile. By a show of ones in the question box, let me know. I'm sorry, we've used 1 before. Let's go to 2, all right, because I don't want to throw the system off. We need 5 to get the slides. 2, by a show of twos, how many of you have a Google business profile? Because you see here, when I'm talking about location, 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 look where it shows up in search. And look at that wonderful prime visual real estate there, right? When we're talking about that location, 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 that's going to get share of eyeballs right here. All right, some say none, some say that they do. Okay. All right, good. I'm glad that you do, because that is a great way to engage search. Remember what I said, we want to make sure that our search engine can see us. And when you connect all Google tools, and these are the free tools, Google Business Profile, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, which lets you know how the search engine actually sees your site and the health of your site and whether it's secure or mobile responsive. That's free. When we put YouTube there, even Google Ads, even if we don't pay for Google Ads, not to worry, just connecting it, Google Sites. Anytime we connect all of those Google tools, it reinforces to the algorithm that you are a real business, that your information is correct, which is where you get elevated in search results, because Google can depend on and in confidence deliver your information to people who are looking to know, go, do, or buy. So you want it to be fast, 4 seconds or less. 1.2, 1.8 is the average right now. Useful, helpful to the person who is your best customer. Everybody else is gravy. Text links are important there too. Just be careful. Remember, we're on a mobile device. Mobile friendly is very, and mobile responsive is important. With our big fat fingers, if links are so close together, we get frustrated at the website, not our big old fat finger. Okay, so just make sure that you're giving them the best experience we can. We can't have a Google business profile if you have an e-commerce store only. Correct, Heather, but I will tell you this because I've been a small business owner for a long, long time. Everything is figure outable, right? So what I explain to people, because I work with some people who that's all they do, e-commerce, but they have friends and family members that they do deliver to, either Sunday at church, at the daycare, when they're going to go take their kiddos to taekwondo, they deliver one product, one makeup, one lotion. And I said, there, you have delivered the product to the customer's location. Put that down, and therefore you show up in Google Business Profile. You can use it because you've actually hand delivered a product. Use it that way, even though 99.9% of the time you could be using e-commerce. I still do that, okay? Because I think it's important to link all the Google tools and take advantage and optimize what we have available for free. Hope that answers your question, Heather. Another thing too are your page titles and descriptions. Remember what I said about being able, you're very welcome, being able to be seen and looking and being shown there when customers are looking and using the words that they actually use. Ooh, I tried to say that too fast. Sorry, guys. I get excited about it because I love, love, love helping small businesses get better at this. So page titles and descriptions are given more weight to the algorithm, so they show up higher. So if you can use the words that people are actually using in your page titles and descriptions, that match shows up higher and it gets you more visibility. A search-friendly website also has to have good IA, information architecture, which means the layout and the flow needs to be very intuitive for small businesses as well as for Googlebot. And then it needs to look good across all browsers and devices because we have hundreds upon hundreds of those available, and it needs to adjust immediately. So one of the tools, you heard me mention that earlier when I was talking about linking all the Google tools, again, this is free, 100% free, is Google Search Console. If you go to g.co/search console, you'll see that at the bottom left, and screenshot that if you want to take action on your to-do list already after this. You can do that before you get the slides tomorrow. So what this does is it lets you know how Google sees you and how healthy your site is to Google search. This gives you a chance to know how Googlebot is going to deliver you. This is what we call the door to the library. So a lot of people believe that Google is the World Wide Web, and we are not. Google is the #1 library of the World Wide Web. We index and library, we categorize everything. So everything's in the catalog. Just imagine in the days of old, and I'm dating myself, when you go into the library and you'd look for something, you'd go through the card catalog, it was filed by Dewey Decimal System, and you went out to the stacks. Well, Googlebot is doing the same thing, except that small businesses often think that they just put it online and just publish it, and Googlebot will find you. While Googlebot is amazing, it can take up to 90 days. And when you're looking at cash flow, that could be a really long time. You want to start selling right away as soon as you publish. You want your website to do what you want it to do. So now what you do is you put it in the library yourself. That way, when somebody's searching for you, like let's say they want a paragraph of the bottom sentence of that paragraph of a book you have, your book's in the library. Googlebot doesn't have to wonder where your book is and search for it for 90 days. It is already instantly there because you put it yourself in the library. And this is 100% free to you as well. Again, it lets you know exactly what's happening, how Google sees you, to see if there's any issues coming up. Oh, it's not mobile responsive, or this page isn't loading, or this page is showing up that you want unpublished, so something's missing for you to unpublish. Maybe you don't want to see that, or maybe something's showing up that you didn't even know, like you loaded up a photo there, and instead of it being a description of the photo, it says IMG/4433, and that's what's showing publicly. So you need to be careful and know. You would connect that through your actual domain, so you go through your actual hosting here. You can also do it by code, but this will walk you through as you go to Google Search Console. It's pretty intuitive. Fill in the blanks, connect, verify that you're the website owner. You're good to go. You can also find out on Google Chrome. So Google Chrome is an amazing tool. I love Google Chrome because Google Chrome is the marketer's dream. It can show you a little bit more that you may not realize. And let me show you here, because you see it here. If you right click and you go to the second to the last item, when you right click, that's in the drop down menu, you'll see inspect. So for example, somebody give me your website in the question box, because I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. Throw this up here. And all right, so I'm going to go to, oh, thank you so much, Arlene, ASCNDNBS. Did I spell that correctly, everybody? ASCND, sorry, ASCN. Sorry, this is the hard part right here because I can't copy paste from this. ASCENDNBS. Whew, that's the hardest part. Okay, so her site's loading. If I right click here, you'll see the word inspect. Let me make that bigger since I'm broadcasting, guys. All right, y'all, let's go to inspect. When I go to inspect, all this gibberish comes up, right? But if I go here to this little icon, see that little icon right up there? Can't make that part bigger, sorry guys. So I click on that, and now I can look at it like you're seeing here, like the mobile. So I can look at it as Samsung Galaxy 8, what it looks like, but what does it look like for the iPhone 12? And if I'm using the 2 screen, somebody's using the 2 screen, maybe they're looking at the Surface Pro 7. So now I can look through, scroll through, click on, and see how my actual site is working, okay? So that's what is good with Google Chrome, because it does show you that. And it shows you here on the slide how you can use the Chrome Inspector. A great website's also convenient. Thank you everybody for sharing your site. I see a lot of people share their site, and at the end, if you want me to go through your site, I'm happy to do that. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and go through, because we are running into almost the top of the hour, about 14 minutes away, and I want to get this done for you. So we'll do that. I'll save that to the end. If you still want me to do that, hang out with me, okay? We know that people are looking here, even for their groceries. Everybody is changing the way they shopped, right? They meant, and they were on the trajectory to do it in 2020, but it just fast forwarded it, right? So people are looking for responsive designs, really knowing what people want. I worked with a team yesterday, in fact, that same team that we were talking about the call to action colors. They were looking at, okay, we don't want a customer when they come to our site to just be asked to buy this again because they already bought it. How rude is that? But if they've logged into their account, then we can say, oh, you bought that? Well, here are the 4 other things that we recommend that you get that would really enhance your experience with this. So they wanted a real responsive design, not just in recommendations, or not just in being able to fit to any device, whether I throw this up to a smart TV, but also in the recommendations. They also wanted to make payment processing simple, so they put things in like Shop Pay, Klarna, Afterpay, all of those. So all that information is already in there, and people don't have to worry about putting in more. And they also personalize recommendations, because remember, people, 74% are on a mobile device. In fact, when I'm working with web designers, I explain to them, and this is something, it's funny, 9 months ago that Amazon actually came out with when they're talking about their Amazon team. They said, we are designing for mobile first. Since that's where people go, desktop, laptop, we'll do that later. But mobile first, even if we have to put a 9-month gap between when we do mobile and desktop, laptop, we are designing for mobile first. I encourage everybody to do that, because that's what your shoppers are using. You can also put things like your curbside pickup, any of these aspects that make your business just a little bit more unique, because remember, we have our unique selling proposition, what makes us so unique, and we need to put that where people can see that and look at that information. So that responsive design, remember what I said? This is what it's needed in your design to be able to get there. It needs to be vector graphics. Aim for minimalist. We do not want to overcrowd things. There's a lot of good things in spaces that are white space where you can breathe in and really soak in that information. We've all seen those emails that are just all that text. It's a lot to consume. We're not looking for that in a website that we are potentially going to do business with or do something else. Also, that payment process, making it simple. These are some of the tools you can do. So they already have an account there, and now it's easy. Everything's there, it populates their address, they're good to go. You want to make it easy for them to just click buy, click buy, click buy all day long. You do want it to recommend similar products, just like I was talking to you about the team that I was helping. So you can see how it recommends products. It even showcases reviews. So you get that third-party validation, which is really important, because people do put a lot of weight on other people's opinion and experiences. So you can look at that. Again, making sure those conveniences are showing up. This is showing you what we already saw on the first screen, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but you'll have it in the slide deck when you get a copy of this. You can also go test your site. Now know that this actually is a little bit different, everybody. Go test my site is going away, so when you go here, you'll see that it's not being updated. You can still test your site. It'll still tell you that, but then it'll show you where you can go to mobile review. So you actually get a data mobile review of your site. So make sure you go there. So you'll go through this URL and it'll get you there. Bookmark the new URL. That is just being changed now. So I will actually change that here too. So you'll have that, but that site will let you know exactly what's working and what's taking a long time for your site to load, because we want it to load in 4 seconds or less. Remember, sweet spot 1.2 to 1.8. Is it personal? Is it a good experience? And is it fast? Because we are all inundated any given day with just a bunch of messages out there. It's just really crazy. 12,400 messages to be exact. So you heard me talk about this earlier at the start of this, which is having a plan on your information architecture. That's the setup of your site. So a lot of basic websites will have the home page and then our team or about us, shop, and contact. But in order for us to truly serve our best customer, it could be that when they go to shop, they don't need to just be thrown in to try to figure out, oh, here's a gift card next to hot sauce. next to jam, they need to be able to put those products in different areas and click on there. Like, for example, if I'm looking for jewelry, I have no reason to want to just look at all the jewelry. It could be rings as opposed to looking at all the necklaces and bracelets and anklets. Make sense? So when you're organizing your website, think of the first screen, or before they have to swipe, before they have to scroll up, that first part is what's known as above the fold. You need to have new information there and a call to action above the fold. This is where you get the most visibility. And a lot of people make the mistake that they put it below, right here below the screen where you have to scroll up. The minute they have to take an action like that, that is more, you're going to lose more people when they do have to do that. You want to have a call to action right here at what they know, what's called as the hero shot. So you want that to be used. That cover photo, the hero shot, have a call to action there. Think about how your customers shop. Think about their decision journey. What is it they need along the way? And are you delivering that to them as they journey through your site? So one of the tools, actually I'm going to bring up, let me see, I'm going to bring that up somewhere else. Hold on. I'm gonna bring this up here and I'll show this at the demonstration. I'm gonna show you how you can actually find out and see how people are, or what they're searching for on your site. One of the things you can do, I'll just tell you right now and then I'll show you at the end, is you can make sure that the search bar is live on your site, because it will let you know if people are looking, let's say you're a construction rental company and they're looking for forklifts and it's on the 24th page for them to have to find it on your site, but you see that 80% of the people coming to your site are looking for forklifts, why wouldn't you move that to the front page? Remember, less clicks, the easier it is for them to buy from us. Boom, boom, here, pay, that's it, I'm done. I'm ready to go on with my life and I'm happy with you because you made my life easier instead of making me go on a treasure hunt. Okay, there we go. Google Trends, oh, this is such a great tool. I love to talk about this in our private marketing community because Google Trends is one of the unsung heroes of Google. It's my favorite tool to use because you can go here and find out what people are talking about right now. I like to put ourselves in as well as competitors whenever I'm working with a business, because I can also see what trends and what people are searching for and using to find the competitors. And maybe we can use those in some of our social posts or the updates that we're doing, or videos or YouTube shorts, to get some of those eyeballs looking at us. You can see by region, you can even see what they're searching for on YouTube. You can find out what they're searching for in the last hour, 4 hours, 7 hours, last 30 days. If your sales cycle is longer and you want to look for the last 4 years, you can do that too. And it is 100% free tool. Also, friendly 404 pages are really, really important. There's going to be times, so a 404 page is where you go when people don't find what they're looking for. So you don't have what they're looking for and they're searching for it, or a link isn't working and they go to a 404 page. You can make this very helpful by finding out how they got there, by also getting a good idea of what exactly were they looking for, what were they typing in, what brought them there to. All of those will be very, very helpful to you. And again, I'm going to show you some of the things you can do with that. I'm just bringing up things here to the side so I can make sure to show you that at the end. It also needs to be trustworthy, everybody. Look at your site. If things aren't lined up, all the products not lined up, and your descriptions and products are going like this, which means your photos have all different dimensions, you're not uniform with those adjustments like that and those inconsistencies, people actually look at that and they think, oh my gosh, are they for real? So it actually does take a hit on your trust, the trust level you have with them. So you want a security layer. Remember what I said about showing up high in Google search, and then you also do want to have secure payments. Trusted people like this really are helpful compared to you doing something on your site and then they run into some sort of wonkiness, because people are very, very aware and very concerned about their privacy and the security of their information. You do want business reviews in there because, again, remember what I said about third-party validation? Show those ratings of those real reviews. They're going to be good and bad. People want to see both. They actually distrust a website that only has all positive. This is something I struggle with because I love getting 5-star reviews. So that's the exciting thing. I have 111 5-star reviews, and I'm like, but I didn't make those up. So I'm excited that I have those. So that's where, again, when you can show, especially when it's product or service based, when you can show that little bit of ebb and flow, it feels more real to people. And then contact information needs to be there too. Look at your privacy policy and your data policy. Not only does that help with the actual search engine, elevating your prominence score, which is your quality score, to see those things. It'll help you if you ever connect your store to an Instagram shop, TikTok shop. Those are required. All right, so we've covered quite a bit. Take it all in. And I'm going to ask you now to, in the question box, talk about what it is that you're going to apply first that you learned. Is it to find out more about Google Analytics and Google Optimize, to really to attach your Google Search Console and to be sure you're seen by the search engine? Is it to test your site? Is it to try Google Trends? So is it whether or not to see your site is very mobile friendly? Is it going to Google Chrome and inspect how you look like on different devices? Is it mobile responsive? And are you coming across as trustworthy? Okay, I'd love to know in the question box. I've got that nice and big so you can answer there. And these free tools are available to you. So you can go to YouTube, you can go to the Grow with Google YouTube channel, and we always cover topics that are of interest and that are most searched by small businesses. So this can be very helpful to you too. You might also want to become a part of the Google certificate program and get a certificate in any of these tools to elevate yourself either as a business, or if you're an employee with a business, this could be something that you add to your actual employee file and to your resume. But if anything, if you need any additional help, the people that invited you here today, the Google partners, they're right there. They're boots on the ground that really are there to help you. I encourage you to go to google.com/grow, check out what topics we cover, and ask them to bring those topics to you. And the people you need to ask are right here. Okay, so it's the Texas State University SBDC, SCORE San Antonio, SCORE Austin, Texas Tech Northwest Texas Business Resource Center, and Texas A&M International University, SBDC, okay? So reach out to them. That's who to talk to. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording as I go to Q&A because that's for the